Thanks. Yes, yes. Ukulele. I'm actually warm, but yeah. But that's a good option as well, and has a lot of properties of bone broth. And this is straight protein. I don't actually use protein powders, just because I don't know. My kids don't tend to like them. They kind of have that grainy, I don't know, feeling in the back of your mouth. And whereas this, it's so fine, and it's just straight. And then I don't know. I always feel better too when it's like I'll add my own sweet if I want, or my own different things or berries or whatever. But this is just pure
Would
protein.
you suggest, like, because there's lots of things people could switch out or replace
Yeah.
or start doing.
Yeah.
Do you suggest baby steps so that it's not so overwhelming for people, or if they're really opposite?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I guess sometimes it's experimenting. Like Christine said, saying, I'm going to try this and see if this is a good replacement. Does this make me feel like, oh, right on, I get to have these peanut butter balls, or I get to enjoy this dark chocolate that I've made myself, or just dark chocolate from a package, and being able to take it incrementally. I don't know, what would you say?
I'm a firm believer in baby steps. I find so often what we anticipate is that we can look at a child learning when they learn to read. We can look at a child when they move from literally just holding their neck up to sitting up to crawling to walking. We can see the gradual progression, but when it comes to nutrition, for some reason, we expect to run the marathon the first day. And it's like, if you haven't walked 5 minutes, you're probably not going to be able to run a marathon well. Or if you do, you're going to be in rough shape coming out of it. And so I firmly believe in baby steps. I would rather see somebody implement new habits, like bringing in one new action step every single week and building 1 week upon 1 week upon 1 week. It's amazing, within 10 weeks, you probably won't have 10 habits, but you sure as heck will have 3 to 4. And if your 3 to 4 is a high fat breakfast to stabilize your sugars, if it's a salad every day, if it's replacing certain foods, and if it's drinking your 10 to 12 cups or 8 cups of water, I'm telling you, you are in good shape after 10 weeks. You just have laid a really strong foundation. So I'm all for baby steps. I actually have seen way too many people sprint, and I don't know a single person who has sprinted and maintained it except for one. But the flip side is that this individual, very sadly, is the most highly anxious person I know. And so to do it well, body, soul, and spirit, baby steps, I would say, hands down.
And maybe deciding that. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, what your baby step is as well, like choosing, and maybe it is. I mean, it's tough to cut out all refined sugars. I find that even with my kids, it's like none. Okay, like just even your packaged stuff for lunches, and it can be a real challenge. So maybe it's saying no desserts. It's like there's still, some sugar in these certain products that I'm using. But how can I just cut out even that? Having cake or whatever it is,
Totally. We do, like when it comes to building habits, we do know that, as Jen was starting to share before, habits take 21 days to build. And amazingly, it said, I've seen numbers as low as 93 and up to 97% that we function through our subconscious, meaning we do things automatically without thinking about it. And when we are building habits, one of the reasons why they're so challenging is we're actually taking something that we're not used to. It hasn't been well practiced. We have to consciously think about it every single day. And Dr. Carolyn Leaf's in one of her other books, she talks about, it takes 21 days to move for a habit to become conscious. But then it takes 2 more cycles of 21 days for it to move from the conscious to the subconscious realm, so that you're doing it without having to think about it every single day. So 63 days is quite a while. And that's one of the reasons why we talked about, if by chance for any of you feel like, hey, this is amazing, this is exactly what I needed, that's fantastic. But for anybody who's like, man, but I just still don't know where to begin, we do have just a pretty cool offer that we can offer to you, and we have offered to others in the past. Is just the opportunity for a free discovery session. A free discovery session, it's a 1-hour coaching session that basically will help you to identify, number one, what is it that you want to achieve, but most importantly, or more importantly I should say, what's actually getting in your way? Like, what are some of the habits that are standing against you?
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, we can give you some very practical steps as to, okay, what are some things that you can do right now in order to walk out these habits and to start to build healthy habits. If that coaching session is enough to get you started, that's phenomenal. You may discover so much though in that one coaching session where you may be like, actually, I want to learn more about coaching. So wherever you end up, we're okay with both. But what we would love to do is two things. We have a couple sheets and we'll just send them around just so that it goes quicker for you. Is that we do have some sheets to include your name, email, phone number, recipes. If you want our recipes sent to you, let us know and we'll email them to you. If you want to take advantage of a free discovery session, do let us know, and just let us know if you can do daytime. That's awesome because we do have more daytime availability, or if you need evening. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll just send you an email. We'll get a time set up so we can give you that 1 hour to kind of just get a little bit more clear and individualized as to what you're needing for your next step. So I'll send that out and just pass it around. Shannon's behind you as well, so we'll make sure we get that to you. But while it's being passed around, we just want to go through a little bit of Q&A.
Yes.
Questions have probably come up that haven't been answered. So what questions do you have?
And I know you asked some, which has been great. Yeah,
The green leaf stevia, where
Yeah.
do you get that from?
I actually get it at Nutters here in town, and I always go on 20% Tuesday.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Every
always-
Tuesday?
No, it's the
First
first
Tuesday.
Tuesday of the month,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's 20% off.
Yeah.
So that's pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do
Oh,
have.
20% a lot.
Yeah, it is. And some of these products, you know, they are more expensive. But, and I know we live in a place where we have free healthcare, but I still believe
Advantage
that
on the front end.
it's better to do on the front
Yeah.
end instead of the cost on the other side. Yeah, yeah.
And erythritol? Or
Erythritol
monk fruit. So there is a difference because sometimes they're kind of like
combined.
slashed. If
You're
you go
right.
to the bulk bar and it's like they're in one
Right.
container.
Yeah. And I guess like I would have to personally do more research because I know
Yeah.
I bought some Truvia
Okay.
that had erythritol.
Yeah, I think it's stevia and erythritol
Yes.
in it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get one that's all erythritol, but then there's one that's like stevia and
Yeah.
erythritol. And just because I was trying to make a low carb cheesecake for my
Yeah.
father-in-law, and
Yeah.
and I didn't love the flavor of it, but I'm such a proponent of if it's, I just like things as close to natural as
Right.
possible.
Mhm.
And so if it's something that is still being processed in a
Right.
lab, I mean, I get that it's not increasing your blood sugar levels, but I still, as
Yeah.
much as I can, I like to stick to something that I feel like.
So stevia is your go-to then?
Stevia is my go-to.
Okay.
I will use like some honey in my
Right.
like peanut butter balls.
Yeah.
I will use, especially for my kids, I'll use dates and bananas because I have a high-powered blender and I make pancakes loaded with vegetables and cottage cheese and like the stuff I put in and hemp hearts and flaxseed, and I just grind it all up and put some coconut oil in there and fry it up and put some maple syrup on it, and they love it. And so
Yeah.
for them I'll do that.
Yeah.
But for me, because I am at a place where I don't need a ton of sweet,
Yeah.
stevia tends to be enough for me. I love vanilla liquid stevia. That's my favorite. I'll put that in my coconut milk with my breakfast.
You buy that at
Makes
Nutters
it-
too?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is expensive, but
Yeah.
it's 3 drops.
Yeah. Well, all those sugars are crazy.
Right?
Expensive.
They are.
But when you think about it, you're buying them literally every 6 to 9 months. So
Totally,
they do
yeah.
go the distance.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally true.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you
That's
have
great.
any, this could be a whole nother talk, but like, do you have
Love
any more like in-depth knowledge around people with hormonal issues, insulin resistance, PCOS, and how maybe like a clean eating whole food diet still wouldn't necessarily jam
Mm.
with people with issues like that?
Yeah, and actually that's what I studied personally was actually specific body issues and hormonal issues. So as far as like doing one-on-one coaching, the assessment that I would do, which is different than
What I
Christine,
do, yeah.
is more specific to body issues. Because that was my issue, more so than emotional eating for me. It was definitely more like, I got to figure this stuff out because I don't want to live like this.
Yeah.
And I, had hypoglycemia, had PCOS, or that's what they suspected, and just had some of those hormonal issues as well. And so where I was low in like, and so I did naturopaths and a lot of that stuff. And so that's kind of where my experience education, and then even when I went to school, it was very much based on a holistic practice, a more natural practice, as opposed to, and more food and body system based is more so. I mean, yes, to answer your question, it is a bit more of like, to answer, it would definitely be, to me, it's an individual
Right.
and where they're at, because we are just so different in the way that we would process things. But even clients that I have worked with, where they have specific, I mean, they can't eat certain things that would be part of a healthy diet because of their hormonal issues or inflammation issues or gut issues or, digestive issues. There's a lot more to it than just eat these things. It's like, no, this is probably a specific diet that you start on, because like I said, there's regeneration. Even me with dairy, I being off of it for 6 months, and now, I'm doing cottage cheese and I'm testing for it, and it's doing great in my body. So it's like my gut has repaired, I believe.
Yeah.
And so just learning how to, work through
Cool.
that. Yeah.
Neat.
Long answer.
Oh,
Lots of words. Yeah. Any other questions? It's like
Your
bedtime.
collagen, you
Yeah.
said that you put it like it's a protein.
Yeah.
So when you make your peanut butter balls and stuff, do you
Yeah.
put that in
I would, yes.
even for your kids and stuff to have?
I would, yep. Yep.
And you get that at Costco?
This is at Nutter's, but there was a big
The
one.
Costco one is
Yeah.
$5 more than that one, and it's like
And it's this
3
big.
times the
It's the same brand.
And it's the
It's the exact
same
same
brand, which is
container.
this Organica, which is a great brand. And what's great is like it has your all your amino acids. Like it's
I put
it's
it
a
in my
complete.
coffee.
Yeah, lots of people put it in their coffee because bone broths taste terrible
Yeah.
in your coffee. So this is a good option. Yeah. Yeah, which is good for energy and when I make hot chocolate, I do cocoa powder, coconut milk, this stevia. I use pink Himalayan sea salt. I love salt. That can also be a great treat. Even sea salt and cinnamon on apples.
Yeah.
It's just like
Salt on
Yeah.
watermelon,
So
salt
good.
on cucumbers.
it just
salt on
makes
anything brings the
things,
flavor.
yeah, especially if you're having good salt.
Yeah.
Like a good
Good
salt,
salt.
I'm totally okay with. I let my kids go to town on good salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's electrolytes. Like it's good for their body.
Yes.
It is.
Again.
It's not just table salt. Yeah. Anything else?
How do you prepare your steel cutouts?
I soak them overnight
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar or a tablespoon or 2 of lemon juice, because that just breaks down any like phytic acid that might be in. It's the same with nuts. You should be eating soaked nuts as far as if you have digestive issues, because it's going to be a lot easier on your digestion. And I know for myself, I eat a lot of nuts, and I should soak them more often because I can end up having, my stomach not feeling settled on half a bag of almonds or whatever, but yeah, that helps it be more digestible when you add an acid to it in the morning. And what I do, I actually did it this morning. I just put the water so it's over top of it. It usually soaks it up, so I add a little bit more in the morning. I always throw raisins in,
Okay.
and that's what I make for my kids. And then I put it on frozen berries because then it cools down like that. Just makes it so quick.
So
For
a
them.
tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and then
Mhm.
water.
Yeah, water to cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will add salt
I never did.
in the morning.
The vinegar or anything in it.
Yeah.
And I make
It's
mine
still
in
good.
my rice cooker. So it's
Oh,
awesome. I just the night before, just
Yes.
put water in there.
It's really cool.
Cook it in
Yes.
the morning.
yeah,
Is it just like oatmeal?
it is, but if you make it in the morning, it can be, it depends on your consistency. My kids are used to it now, but it's not mushy. Like it's not like quick oats that are very
Right.
mushy, yeah.
mushy.
No,
Yeah, I don't know how to
It's
explain it.
dense with higher fiber.
It's
higher
de-
protein.
it's a lot.
It's more enjoyable.
It is a bit
Yeah.
chewier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
Okay.
enjoyable.
But the
for sure.
soaking it makes it a little bit, again, more palatable. At least for my kids, they
So sorry,
like it.
did you say you soak it overnight? Did you
I
say?
do, yeah.
Room
Yeah.
temperature, fridge?
Room temperature, just on the stove in the pot. It's a great thing that I do if I'm doing a longer workout in the morning, because I actually turn it on low and get in the shower, and then it's a very quick breakfast
Yeah.
for my family,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah, cool.
And when you soak your nuts, do you put them in vinegar, cider?
No,
Just-
no, I just soak them, and you're supposed to drain off any of the
And that's a roasted nut or a raw nut?
raw nuts.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually, in the winter, I could maybe I love food. Like I said, I love recipes. But if you soak like half a cup of cashews and like 4 or 5 dates, and you soak it for a couple hours, and you throw all of that into a high-powered blender with some cocoa powder, and then add hot water, it's like hot chocolate. It's so good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say pudding.
No, it's hot
You
chocolate.
make pudding. and it was
I've done
amazing.
that with avocado.
Yes.
Made avocado pudding. But
Yes.
anyways, but yes, I would, and I love soaked nuts. They actually taste, to me, it's so fresh.
Yeah.
They almost taste more like a macadamia nut, because they're more like, I don't know how to explain it. Watery.
Your facial expressions are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I love nuts, and again, it's just a process though. It's kind of like sprouting things or making your own sauerkraut. Now Costco has the raw sauerkraut you can
Yeah.
buy, and I'm like, I know it would be cheaper to just cut up cabbage and keep adding salt and draining it off, but I'm just gonna buy the raw
Some
cabbage,
things
because
it's
probiotics
easy,
are so
right?
great.
I wouldn't have to do that. My daughter does that already.
Your daughter does?
Yes.
Yes, see?
Absolutely. She fermented carrots in a salt brine for her grad project in art school.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
Wow.
So good. Carrots I love.
So I might have to.
And
get
they're
her to make me some.
easy.
Yeah.
Just need to,
So yeah.
just getting into the habits, right? Yeah. So any other questions? Or we're kind of good?
I was
Or
gonna
that's
say,
it?
we are at
We are
time,
at
so if
8:30.
anybody wants to go, and if anybody has more questions, you wanna hang back to ask, you're most welcome to. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for being here,
Yes.
listening, sitting for a couple hours. I know it's like you got other things you can do in the evening, walk in the rain. But this was valuable. We believe that
Yes.
So this is
it'll be helpful. Yes.
like all
And these ones are thin slices.
Smaller too.
So with